sitting with a good brother of mine, long overdue. This is a conversation that I've been manifesting for a while. Eventually, when you make plans and you adhere to those plans and you believe in those plans, then they will work out. I highly respect the fact that you become an individual that I've started to become proud of. I didn't know how much influence I had on you until I had to have a sit down with you, and thank you for actually letting me know about the significant impact that I had on you. It's something that I hold quite dearly, and I hope that I continue on this pathway. Thank you also for reminding me that my journey is not done. This is only the beginning, and already in a few years you can see that a brother will be in a good place. But this is all about you. Thank you for bringing your time, your knowledge, and most importantly, your presence. Namaste. This thing, it's been walking around you, but I could tell you're a sports person.
I like sports. Anything that's competitive. I'm just inside it. Not much of a rugby person, though. I think it was just a phase.
Yeah. Probably Gila Clash because we were delving ourselves. We were still young men, Gila Clash. But then I did find myself in how can I express myself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but because these tools were available. I don't want to lie. When I started using social media, I was doing it in a very stupid way.
Oh.
Yeah, but
when you were starting out on Facebook and stuff.
Facebook and all that, I was so ignorant of its potential. Because Namdang was born at one point doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're around people now, sometimes we actually don't get to see you, dude. Because we also have life that we actually have to deal with.
Yeah.
How about you just pop that phone open and then just talk to us in that live? What? Talk to us, like have us on your mind as if we're actually there.
Yeah.
And then they're going, yeah, man, will this actually work? Because from high school, my teacher, I don't know, I've always made people who had this unlocking an ability. Except bro, I think if you can try this out, this can be actually good for you.
Yeah.
I feared public speaking, I don't want to lie. But I was being cheered on by grade 12 saying I must stand in front of 500 people and tell them why I should be on this camp. There was this camp, schooling for selective students. And they just called out my name. And next thing, a few seconds later, I'm standing in front of the school.
The entire school.
The entire school, and I'm telling them, like, say, if you don't know me, you will. Yeah, well, I was cocky, but the confidence after that, because I saw, okay, when you start to actually look at the things that people are telling about you, invest in this.
Yeah.
Because I used to be actually ashamed of reading. This thing of being a nerd.
I find it very strange because my perception of you, even though I was you were like, okay, Tando is in there. You know how you do it not consciously sometimes where you categorize about. You get the type of people who categorize you based on your the way you dress, the way you are, the way you speak. I mean, I've always, since a very young age, always put people in like a category based on their mind, how intelligent they are, and you've always been like on the top of the food chain. So I'm like, you didn't like reading or what? Because you came out across. You're the guy who was wearing a blazer in high school. I actually started wearing a blazer at high school in my because
that is big, bro. I didn't know that.
I was in Oakland, so I said up 60, and then I would sometimes demand now on your full school uniform, jersey or pullover, your tie, and then your blazer. And I'm like, no, I want a blazer as well. And then I got myself a blazer. So yeah. It's quite cool. For me, you've always been among the intelligent guys. Eben Bazi, Apes Stratway. Not that the others were not intelligent. I had to raise my game every time I have to talk to you. and I had to make sure with this guy's the blazer guy. So it was very important for Mna to kind of see you ngelandlela. And appreciate. Sometimes asiboni izinto ezincinci esizenzayo and people take note of them. Yeah,
Yo, bro, you just
Yeah.
raised my spirit in Yan at that time because I drilled myself with this thing. But yes, a lot of things were not going right for me in
Mhm.
terms of home situation. But the power I had was to look the part
Yeah.
because I wanted to be there. I'm like, my attitude was saying that I couldn't even have money some days to go to school, but I would tell myself, as long as I get that break time,
Yeah.
there would be a feeding scheme where I would
Yeah.
get some food there,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is there were some things that were actually taking you from that stress of saying, okay, I don't have food in my stomach, I don't have this. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, this is the place where I get to be better.
Yeah.
This is the place where I get to actually raise the bar higher. But for you seeing me that kind of way, bro, that's huge, man.
Yeah. I have, you know, quite a lot of people would never come up and say to you, hey, this or that positive about you, because it's customary for our society to be more vocal on the negative aspects. You did this wrong. It's much easier for a band, I feel, to do that. But when you start doing things right, it's more like I respond with my actions rather than my words, as I did in your place. Because that day I was like, I kept on seeing you and I was like, why did I not be plays? And then I remember I went to my mom and like, Ma, I'm thinking of getting a blazer. A blazer, thinking of getting a blazer. Then of course I got my blazer and I haven't looked back ever since.
Wow, man,
I
yo,
haven't
that
looked back ever
that
since.
that was a real confidence booster. I don't want to lie about that, Kanya, because
Yeah.
now in such words and also actions from my peers, because they understood, well, okay, this dude, he might have a lot of things against him, but he's always trying to look the part. He speaks the part.
Yep.
He walks the part.
Yep.
Because I was like, I'm the person who makes the clothes. The clothes don't make me. And anything I could aspire to, and very importantly, I had teachers that were parents as well,
Good.
who could be able to shield you towards that. That's why I kind of like looked at failing, because I did fail grade 10. I was too much in denial of the home situation.
Mm-hmm.
And now as a teenager, you also add on by being ignorant. Like, I'll catch that bus when it comes through.
Teenage stage, sure, it's horrible. It's horrible. I always classify being a teenager when I do public speaking events or speaking to a crowd or even one or two, doesn't matter. That when you're a teenager, I compare it to like being on a crossroads. On a crossroads, if you pay close attention, you'll see that's where most accidents happen.
Ooh.
On a crossroads, right? So you're in this crossroads between being a child and an adult, teenager. You're in the middle of that crossroads, and a lot of accidents happen there as well. Bad decisions come from there. Futures are destroyed in that crossroads because of the bad decisions that happen. But when we have about, as you saying, your teachers who would like be parents who were, it's very rare.
Yeah, it's very rare for them to actually take their hat off.
No,
because
it's very
I shout
rare.
out to them
Very
because
rare.
they had to acknowledge the fact how cruel teenagers were. I had events in some places where I didn't have food,
Yeah.
but then my teachers knew, but they couldn't like call me out in front of them. So they had to like distract them with Tando, stay after school because there's something that has to do with school or something like that. And they would actually say, okay, Tando, this is what we had for you. And I actually like that because in previous cases, I don't want to lie, I opened up to the wrong people, Khanya. And I paid for it. My situation became a mockery. Like, you can't be this smart and be going through all these things. Now it becomes where now we ask Buzba, why? Utheni, you're still going through zonke ezinto, but then you have to uphinde ke ngokuzicollect and say, my journey is unique, man. Nobody goes through my experiences. And in most cases, what I went through had to shape me. So I can be able to look at these things in the face and say, this is me. This is where I came from. When I actually let go of the shame, I understood, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be the person who's going to decide. I'm writing that exam. I'm living the experience. I'm having the influence on the people. You see? And if these people have belief in me, I need to lead with that belief.
Yeah.
Next thing, I'm teaching them classes now. I'm sleeping at their houses. It's weekends. Teenage stuff does happen.
Yeah.
But within that, the amount of praise and also confidence my peers gave me, the fact that they wanted to be around me, I'm like, look at the aura you were actually putting out there.
It goes back to something I read. 2014, I was so crazy about learning about leadership. And then I was like buying books and stuff. And you know how I do. So I like buying books and stuff. And I want like hard copies and stuff. And then I remember coming across John C. Maxwell.
Ooh.
The guy, based on what you're saying about your peers giving you so much, he said your level of effectiveness is determined by those you keep around you, your circle. Not your level of success, but how effective you are largely depends on those people who are around you. So if I don't know if you've taken notice, I
always seen you in your car.
It's either I'm in my car and
or
I'm
when
always
you going
in
to
my
the
hand,
shop, you're passing by.
Finish. That's it, because it's very important that you don't have abantu of cancer around when because now instead of unlocking greatness, they will lock it up and dig it 6 feet under and then bury it and put a tombstone on it to make sure it doesn't come out. So people who are around you are very important. I always say this. I'd rather have no one around me. I'd rather be a lone wolf. If I die, it's fine, than to have people who are going to bury me while I'm alive. I'm very scared of being alive and not live. That's one of my worst fears. A few things that I'm afraid of. That's one of them. And I know I'd rather see a snake than Moripu. But anyway, people who are around us are very, very important. So you see by your peers played a major part. And your story is not even done yet.
Oh, bro. Bro.
Your story is not even done yet. You're still like moving forward in this phase, your next phase. And I know in a couple of years, your life will be unbelievable. But you had to go through zonke zinto ujongene nazo, and you had to do it because if they would break. Tando had to be the one. Now I have my own, experiences that I had to go through that were terrible. Had an inferiority complex, and I grew up being told I'm smart, a kaya, but I didn't see that to go. I just saw a normal guy, and because of that, I wanted to be like the others. Am I holding my mic right? No?
Yeah, you're holding it good. I'm just checking the levels.
No, okay, thank you so much. I when you have inferiority complex, you start comparing yourself to others, and you want to be like, Chomizako, because now you're not like so and so, and you're not seen as so and so. I remember in primary school, I don't know if it's depression or what. There was a point whereby I didn't want to go to school because other kids were making fun of my hands. I have a deformity on my hands where my fingers are not straight, and they noticed that. I think it was in grade 4. Now every day, behlekwa izandla zabo. Every day, come so. Okay. And I didn't want, uba ndivele on anything because I'm thinking hands. And then a year later, I remember trying to compensate being made fun of because of my hands with trying to win everything that I do.
Yo,
I wanted
so
to be the
the
best.
hands thing.
Yeah, that was the only way I would be accepted. That's the only way. I had to be the best in writing. I had to be the best in reading. I had to be the best in sports. I remember playing basketball, soccer, swimming, chess, baseball, all at the same time because I wanted to win so much so that it didn't matter anymore. And then time went by, and I found out that these hands were actually giving me advantage on playing piano because I play piano. And now I can extend izandla zam the way they are. They make me effortless when I play because of the way they are.
Yeah,
So I'm
man.
grateful for my hands.
Look at how you reframed.
So I'm thankful for my hands. I'm thankful for my hands.
These same hands they were making fun of. This very same nerdy guy. They were the ones who were asking me, stay up all night, reincite this. I'm like, yo, y'all are helping me. Because now I'm reteaching myself the same thing. It's like all these things we are made fun of eventually. Once we start embracing them. Like when I let go of that shame, I'm like, okay, my mom is this person. How about I start learning about her? Even though it was so traumatic, because some things as male energy we cannot get. The feminine still amazes me to this day. You see, when I watch mothers and how they're so effortless with this life thing, and so I'm like, this is God in reality, man.
Yep. It's amazing how these people are, man. You actually come to realize it later in life, Uchi. My mom was so strong because she always made a way. You know, always. Not sometimes, but always. Not because she was put a gun on her head, but because of love is what drives her. Nowadays, a lot of what is supposed to be love is more like, not, how can I phrase this? People say it is love nowadays, but it's not. It's actually proving something to yourself. But Utandoga Mama, it's not about proving to her, to anyone. It's about my love is driving me to do this for Mdanam. And that's it. And that's final. And that's why we guys, we tend to gravitate towards Abantu, even romantically. Abantu abafana nomama bethu, because we want to, we're so hooked to
man.
that type of love. Like, okay, Lumju, subconsciously, you want someone to be like your mom towards you. So it shows the power and how much, the gravity in which these people love us is just, you can't describe it. You can't in such a way whereby when uJongita's friend, when you talk about Jonge, you're all right. You're looking for someone who has your mother's traits, and it's been proven.
Sure. Rest in power, man. To my angel, man. My mom. When I think about the sacrifices, bro, I still wonder, Nango Gugutikse, if she didn't make them. Well, I did find myself in this kind of state, like in the last few months, because I'm so thankful that the last few months I actually sat down with my mom. She couldn't walk, she couldn't do that, but she was cooking. And she started to tell me stuff.
Yeah.
You time where all these burning questions you've had. Why did you marry my dad? How was your childhood? Now these things, they come.
Yeah.
And they come, and I felt like now this was her time to rest.
It must not have been easy for you, yeah?
Not easy at all. Because you have so many questions. And on top of that, those questions can't be answered. Part of what I'm grateful for is the fact that a part of me was prepared for this. It's not like these conversations he wasn't having them, saying, one day I'm not going to be here. One day I'm not going to be here. And to actually find that you're also not going to be here one day.
It's scary. Now, as I said to you, there are very few things that I'm afraid of. I'm a very adventurous guy. But when, you come to think of losing your mom, I know I'm grown and stuff. I don't need her for much, but calling her, I'm a mama's boy, if you didn't know. And I'm sensing you were as well.
Of course.
I would just randomly call him. Isani, Upi, I call her Isani, something. Isani, Upi. I know, just having her presence and the thought of knowing that it is inevitable for it to happen, that she'll be no more emhlabeni, and you need to learn to deal with it. I'm not going to lie, not easy. I'll take a maths exam anytime, and I hate maths. It's not easy. So I don't know your perception on how you are looked at, but now, since your early days doing it live on Facebook, I would watch, by the way. I would be like, nah, this guy is cool, man. And then when you start to talk about Mama Ko, it will not only move my mind and not only my heart as well, to move my spirit. That's why I started to gravitate towards you. I don't know much about you. I'm not going to lie and say we were best friends in school because you were all
bro, you can live like a few houses away from a person, but your boy experiences in as fun.
Yeah.
People think in this long street and we know one another and no. You figure yes, our paths actually as we get older. Ziyang not gravitated towards us and we might live here. When around but yo bro, when last did I see that we were in high school then? Next thing, man, Ubali as kids. I go next thing, except there's gatherings.
No, man, no. We're talking about, I don't know, about Liam,
Yeah.
We were saying about, I mean, it was crazy that has he been nowhere at 58, and I'll be like, and Muslim Chitalo. But it's like, and I know one, but and Muslim Chitalo, and it's crazy. But as you're saying, as we grow up, the penny drop, we have to acknowledge that. The penny drop, and you start to know by the day is 24 hours. 24 hours is no longer enough.
Yeah, it's not, man. We want more. We want more.
But Tando, for me, it all boils down to decision. Decision. And I'm a man who lives with a philosophy over your heart cannot lead. I know you might disagree with me somehow in terms of context.
No, I won't.
You see, your heart cannot lead. Your head has to lead your heart. It's always, for me, I've learned it from a very young age. Thank God I've learned that. Your head is above your heart for a reason, because your head has to lead your heart. You can't live a life of making emotional decisions. This is very dangerous.
Oh, that's a huge lesson. That's a bite. That's a real. That's a TikTok.
Come to think of it, any decision you've made based on emotion either ended up in sadness or regret. Life is not a flip of a coin, man. That's a lie. Listen to your heart. Let your heart lead. No, your heart can't think. Your mind can. You put 1 and 1 together, you know it's 1 plus 1 is 2. I'm using my head. It's logical. I'm not saying be an emotionless bastard. No, I'm not saying that. But your emotions can't lead you whatsoever.
That,
and that's how you make the distinction between cooler and aging. The people who age, we live with them, we see them. They age, but they don't grow up. That's the huge difference between the kind of love. That's why we're gravitating towards opposite spheres. Sometimes the man that we were very close with. But now, man says, Tando, Khanya. Why? Because we understand school and not just age.
Is hanging out. Say, yo, bro, you left me. Yo, Khanya, I left those kind of things way behind, bro. I was like, nah, bro. I don't owe it to nobody actually to be them in context of, bro, we were actually getting older.
Yep.
Because I had to remind someone the other day, like, sir, you don't see what I'm doing? You don't see what I'm building? Huh?
Yeah.
You don't see what I'm doing, bro? It's not because the other reality that also hits me is the fact that I don't want to be a nobody.
Yeah.
Bro, some people are comfortable even now. You'll be like, nah, you're still young. You still have your whole life ahead of you. What do you mean? What? My whole life ahead of me?
Your whole life ahead of you? Who told you that, bro? Who told you? It's so crazy that when we become accustomed and used to impilos and you feel like there's nothing more you can do, believe me, you can have opportunities coming at you, left, right, center. You won't do anything about it because you believe, no, man. I have my whole life ahead of Bakulando and the other way. How's the same thing, man? It's the same thing.
I got the ticket.
Like, Uzaba grand, uzaba right. Ah, no, man. No. This is my life. And I not only have dreams, I have a vision. Not just dreams, a vision, Joe. And as long as that vision, I still see it clearly in my head, I'm fighting to go there. So I can't have a man who are going to be telling me, no, it's mama. You say, no. Say for when I respect that. But for me, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I want to go out. I can't be stuck in one place. I want to fill up. I'm not done. Johan, kalukucho, yabo kabile, Johan. I want to fill up.
You have to, ngamanye amaxesha uqabe kwa wena uqabile.
To fill up. Soze yenzeke lonto. Johan, to fill up.
It scares me nyani wena Khanya. By how can you be comfortable, man, when there are parts that we haven't even discovered? I said the other day, I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to drive. And someone tells me, you still have your whole life ahead of you, bro. There are kids younger than me driving cars, bro. I'm like, you know how jealous I get? Because I'm thinking, except, once I know how to drive, the places I could go, the places I've never went. Soons the other day just went to another part of Cape Town, and he's like, there's life when you're down. Except all things are dying. Some things are blossoming.
Yeah.
Because some people will be like, no, we came here to fight. We're not going to just stay here and do. That's why when you create means of value, because I said at one point, but I don't have much, but how can I be of value? How can I be of value? Because when I started to ask myself those questions, then now I dwell on my strengths. I can be able to retain information. I am eloquent in such a way. I can be able to. Now they give you power to say, okay, now optimism exists.
Yep.
Okay, what does this person have to teach me?
Yep. If you are let's say I'm a 5 and I want to reach my full potential of being a 10, I need to have positive values around me who are going to make me to be that 10. You understand? But if you keep on having these negative values who are going to keep on telling you, well, no, it's fine. Oh, it's okay. You don't need. Like, I used to have friends who found it strange when I bought a book at a shop. I used to have friends. I knew from I'm not going to say names because of respect. But I remember going at Bargain Books, and you should see me, my girlfriend knows, when we're at the mall and I see a bookshop, I just lose my mind, because but I just see this and see that, I become so happy because that's my favorite thing to do, is to read. And then one day I'm with this guy, and then we're at the mall. We were just going out for lunch, and then I see Bargain Books. I'm like, I'm discussing an man or something. And then I see quite a lot of books, philosophy books. I'm like, yo, investment, this will help me grow when you ibheka
toilet manje gone.
He did not understand the concept, and it's not like something I did purposefully to the guy, but we started to drift because I could see that, not that you don't have anything to offer me, you're a good person, but I don't feel like I need good people around me. I need people who are going to add value to me and I to them. One of our problems is to look for good people. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Khanya, this is important.
It's not enough.
It's very important.
Number 1. And number 2, I'm very radical in my message. Because I've indoctrinated myself so much, and I've convinced myself so much that I'm willing to die for what I believe in. And I believe in this guy. I'm willing to die for this guy. Doesn't matter. You can call me whatever. That's your business. And it does not matter anymore. But I want to go forward. I want to go up. There will be times whereby I'll have setbacks. It's part of life. I need to get up. I need to go again. I need to try again.
Perseverance, my brother. Perseverance.
I need to persevere. Now, if I'm so concerned of surrounding myself with good people, you know what good people do? Good people always tell you, you're fine, even when you're not. Good people will tell you, no, it's okay, even when it's not. I need people who are going to tell me, hey man, it's not fine. You are lacking behind.
Yeah.
Ops. You are remaining behind. We are here now. You can't be here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Those people are not good people. Those are fighters. Those are the ones who are as hungry as you. And if you are not as hungry as them,
get away.
Remain.
Get away.
Remain.
Get away.
Be a lion that eats grass. Be there.
Because such a thing does exist. Khanya, you just made the emphasis of how important of who you keep around.
Yeah.
Because abantu, they will taint the way that you're on. But one thing that I've seen is that when you are always willing to fight 1,000 battles, then you don't care how many battles come. I love what Sun Tzu did with that book. A book of military.
The Art of War! Oh, you've read The Art of War!
A man who knows himself doesn't fear 1,000 battles.
1,000 battles. Know thyself and know thy enemy. In 1,000 battles, you'll never be in peril. I think it goes like that. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that,
Something
man.
like that.
But for such ancient method, well, what do you call it? Is it methodology? It's philosophy. Yeah.
I really
military. Is it
ideology?
Because communism is an ideology, so his type of thing is also like his ideology.
Yeah, you would say military.
You'd say.
Because that thing is used in military, in business, and all this.
Isn't that in prison?
Nah, yeah, it would militarize. Look, the prisoners to revolt.
And the 48 Laws of Power.
Oh, Robert Greene.
Goodness.
Robert
That book changed my life. That book changed my life.
You know how many? What is this YouTube cartoon? What is this? A summary of that books. I first read the book.
Yeah.
And then when I check, Robert Greene likes books about psychology, the art of seduction,
my life.
50
like years old YouTube channel. I watched his YouTube channel.
Robert
Greene has a
YouTube channel.
I need to check him out. I've been seeing him on many podcasts because I loved him with the book he made with 50 Cent.
And 50th Law.
Yeah, he was collaborating with a lot of people. But his books, man. Who hasn't the history to get you the 48
I didn't
Laws?
even know that you like them because I have a lot of them there.
Sure. You know Robert Greene and Robert Sharma. Because there's a Zimbabwean friend of mine who's been on the podcast, and he's like, books are a part of knowing yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through the experience of what that person went through.
Yeah.
You can read about it. It's kind of like a cheat code.
Yep.
To people who don't like reading, you're missing out.
You're missing. I always, on my recent ventures, I've ventured into coaching football.
You're a football coach.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
I always say to the guys, my players, I coach first team, but I like my team because they are young, but they are playing at a higher division. So they're bound to make mistakes and stuff. And I always say to them, there are two ways in which you learn. You learn by experience, which is not always easy. But the best way is to learn through the experience of others. And this is what books give to you, that you don't need to fall so that now no. Rather learn from Utando. So books are just, I didn't know that you read Robert Greene.
I religiously visit 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction.
It was the book that, obviously the Bible, but in terms of it was the book where I read, and then I remember I was in Joburg, Soweto. It was 2015. lazy guys, but then there was this one guy from Durban, Sika, and then Khanya was always carrying this book like, and the guy does not want anyone to touch the book to the extent whereby he would take it and what I beg down. And I'm like, okay, let me steal the God. Can't steal it. Let me buy the God and see what's this book all about. And then when I read, I remember having like an epiphany, man. And from a guy who believed himself to be intelligent, smart, and I was like, Khanya, you know nothing, man. If this kind of information has been out there, and
when is
not, then you know nothing. That's the book that like started it all. Then I became obsessed about psychology. I became obsessed about learning. Robert Greene led me to Ryan Holiday, his understudy, the Stoic philosopher. He led me to, man, I'm telling you. So that's why I enjoyed sending you those books. And then I was like, at least someone, when I have a conversation with Tando would understand because it's not everyone that I can say, I'm sending you a book, mate, read this. Because sometimes look fully what and you get so excited that you want to share the information. But they share Shanoban, Baban, Bazo
no one read books, man.
I remember people up Stratway, up Pelako, Ben Kalena London. Singing for it, man, I went from singing for it to a light dash when you pay. Now people come and border. I'm not a pastor, but they say, hey, Fundis. Hey, Fundis. Not because of the way I dress or the way I walk or the way I talk, but the way I carried myself. The way I believed.
And a man who will treat you how you treat yourself. I actually appreciated that when I saw you as an adult. I'm like, I used to see you from afar. Like, I respect that dude, man. Because you can tell by you are living your decision. You are like, this is me. The world has to adapt. Yep. The world has to adapt. And now, for many years, I actually had bottled myself up. Because you're busy telling people that have no hope about themselves. And here you are, when you're seeing yourself out of this situation. Like, who does this dude think he is? You're chilling with us, man. You're supposed to make us watch movies and all that. Next thing, I'm listening to Stoics. I'm listening to mystics. It's boring. I can't be around that dude no more. Exactly. He gonna tell me I need to change my life. He gonna tell me I need to take care of myself. And I found, okay, let me redirect all of this energy towards myself. And become an embodiment of that. Now, next thing, when tough times come, I'm the person, like, I'd like to be around him because he looks so chill. Yeah. Like, that same thing we were mocking you about is that same thing that you're going to use to help them.
Exactly. You know, now it's so amazing, your story. I was listening to your podcast on Spotify in the car with my girlfriend, and she's like, yo, it's nice, this guy. I know him. I don't know why I want to tell him. It sounds so pro. I tell him sometimes.
He lets me know every time he listens. Khanya is the dude I always tell you, like, say, Khanya, my man. Khanya, my man. I'm like,
I'm listening, and I like, because the content, number one, is real, is unscripted, and it's uncensored. So, and most of the time, people who are on your platform, I know them, and it's cool to hear them expressing themselves, or songers, or is that lady you had on the podcast? I forgot her name.
Is it Spokazi?
Spokazi,
that's Songezo's cousin.
Goodness.
The thing she said about her mom, family.
Bro.
You see the impact songs. You see.
Something with it when it just breaks you. That was in 2 parts. It was in 2 parts, I remember. It just broke me. Yo, this is it. This is what we want to hear, because there's no facade. There's no curtain. There's no, wall.
Yo,
It's
this is
people
beautiful.
exposing
Songs.
themselves,
Oh.
and I'm like, no, Tando, he's cooking. He's cooking. He's cooking. And worst part, I always say this. I have a lot of friends who are in channels who are doing YouTube. Problem is, I'm very picky with what I listen to because number one, my time is valuable. Yeah? Number two, is this not poison that you are feeding me? Well, once I sense it's poison, bye-bye. Unsubscribe, bye-bye. I'll never listen to you again. But once you mamele and you move me in such a way whereby I'm like, I have to put this thing on pause because I have to go to the bathroom. If I don't put it on pause, I will miss out. So I can't miss out. Pause, bathroom, come back and press play. Because I'm so invested so much. Ulendo, Itetwa Bana, the one you had with Songezo, that was beautiful as well. You know, your lives on Facebook, amazing. Amazing. That's why when you text me during the week, you're like, hey, Khanya, I need you to come this weekend. How's your weekend? Weekend very busy. But I said Friday. Nah, Friday. I have to sacrifice because I want to be part of this. Because this guy is going somewhere.
Beautiful, man.
He's going somewhere.
This is so amazing, Khanya. Your words, man.
True. They're true. I'm quite a how you call it, a bastard when it comes because I'm unfiltered. If it's bad, I'll tell you. That's a Kaya. Don't pick you. I'm the critic. I don't even know how to cook, but once they cook and eat, my mom would come and say, and then if it's bad, I'll tell her.
You did bad today.
So I'm unfiltered like that. So when your content is good, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. It's really good, blah. There were times whereby you are there packing and I see you alive. I'm like, yeah. Because your content is so good and it's life-giving, man. You're like a fountain. Really, you're like a fountain.
Sure, bro. This is like jet fuel,
life.
man.
You're giving life.
This is jet fuel, motivational maniac, man. Khanya Feto, I never knew this meant so much to you.
Yeah, it does. I wouldn't be here if it didn't. Believe me. I hate things that as much as I like A, B, and C, I believe myself to be a very lazy guy. I like to conserve my energy, and indoor that I feel will waste my time or is not productive or doesn't go anywhere, I will not.
Don't even bother with it.
No. The fact that I'm here, it means a lot to me.
It's huge what you did for me, man. Just to close this out. Khanya Feto, yes, at one point, someone told me that the size of your audience doesn't matter. Because my best friend told me that they might not get it, Ngogo, but they will.
Yep.
But Tando, don't deprive the world of who you are.
Yeah.
Don't deprive the world of your story. There's someone who could be listening out there and say, you know, when I heard about what this guy went through, but yet he's still here. Because like you said, my story is not done.
No, it's not, man. It's you're far from being done. I have so much respect for you because of who you are. I don't remember you giving me R1 for me to say, no, I'm sucking up because Tando gave me something. Nah. I respect you because of who you are and what you're making of yourself. You're a beast. You're a beast, man.
You songs, hear these words, bro.
I know it will come. It's more like it's your work for you to check how many people are watching and whatever. When I keep on doing Lendienzayo, and believe me, people will keep on gravitating towards Lendienzayo. I had a YouTube channel. It was called Thinking Out Loud, and I was so immersed on doing Lando and having a nice production, cameras, angles. I remember the first episode that we shot. I was so tired after because we kept on cutting and we have to go again.
Because you wanted to be so perfect.
Cutting and we had to go again. look at that camera. Now you have to look at this camera. It's beautiful. If you go on YouTube, you'll see it. It's there. After that first episode, because of the amount of work that went to it, no,
I'm not doing this
no,
again.
no. And now again, I wanted to see what if this video reaches 1,000 views, then I'll do the other one. But nah, it didn't. No more thinking out loud and whatever. But when we need to continue. You need to continue. You need to keep on keeping on. You need to keep on being original, being unfiltered, and being real. Because that's what made me listen. Podcast was real, and that's it.